Thank you all. Thanks for coming out. Nothing like a free breakfast. It's not the great speaker, so I understand that. So County Fair Week and free breakfast goes pretty good. And I just want to congratulate you all for doing this. I'm a big community foundation believer. You're going to hear about here, and was a founding member of the Knox County Community Foundation a number of years ago when Eli Lilly kind of hung out some dollars that said if you can match this and come up with some money, you can we'll make annual contributions to your community foundation, which they've been generous supporters all across the state of Indiana. So we are blessed to have Lilly Endowment that really kicked us in the rear to do something we ought to be doing anyway. So. Good to be here. I would have been here earlier. I ended up in Mooresville because I couldn't see the Martinsville turnoff on 67. I live on the other end of 67, a little town of Edwardsport, and I used to work in Indianapolis, and quite often I'd go 67 most of the time to work when I worked up there for 14 years, the president of Indiana Farm Bureau, so I know a lot about Morgan County. Being involved in Farm Bureau, there's a lot of folks here that I've known for a number of years, and Peggy I knew from the State House. There were days people at the State House I'd see more often than my wife back at home, because it's a pretty rigorous schedule they keep up there, and we're very fortunate to have her and Mr. Bray both. They're both good advocates for you all. They understand our issues, and it's a tough job. It is a tough job, and I always say all the easy answers are gone. And if it was easy, we'd already be doing it. And so they're faced in the legislature with tough issues that there's no one right single answer, that it takes a lot of discussion to come up with something that can help us all. And that's always their intent, but difficult to do. And so I just always want to recognize them for their service. Your sheriff here, I'm glad I probably met him driving through this county before. Actually, you have a great county to get through. Greene County, anybody been through Greene County and not got stopped? Their number one economic development activity in Greene County is speeding tickets. So I guarantee you, between Spencer and Worthington, I'd almost bet 80 acres you will see a law enforcement officer that has often told me, he said, son, you need to put a brick under your foot feet, and you'd be a lot better off. And so anyway, I can't say enough, nor I make fun, but I think we should give our law officials an applause. Well, I made a big mistake. I started out with admitting a big mistake. I drank coffee on the way up here. I drank some orange juice here, and I didn't go to the bathroom, so this is going to be shorter than I've ever thought about. So I'm going to go through this pretty quick, and so you can get into your activities of the day and here at your great Morgan County Fair. You do have one of the best fairs that I've had an opportunity to attend, and to be congratulated on that as well. Well, I'm really here to talk in the name of my speech that I give to community foundations, because I do a few of these across the state. It's a speech I call the greatest mistake I ever made. And I've made a lot of mistakes in my day. I mean, I tried to do crazy things, out of the box things. Like I said, it was easy, it had already been done, so I'm doing things, or at least trying to do things that no one else attempted, and so I make a lot of mistakes. And but the biggest mistake I made was I didn't make a county viable enough that my two daughters, if they wanted to come back and live in Knox County, it wasn't a county they would want to live in. The number one thing about economic development is to have a community that an employer wants to live in. Because that employer, that entrepreneur, that business owner is going to be moving into your area with his or her family. And so what kind of community do you have that they would want to move into? Knox County, and I'm very proud of my county. I don't want to disparage it too much, but we're a declining population county. We don't have a Indianapolis close by, and I know you inherit a few Marion County residents here, maybe some you don't like, but a few you do. And but we're a declining population county. We have no industry. McDonald's and Arby's, and now Steak and Shake, our newest industry in Knox County, is the main employers. We do have a Princeton Toyota spin-off company that's located there recently. We have a new turkey processing plant, one of the largest in the country, is now there. But for a long time, widget making companies, we don't have a lot, and they've all moved away, and some not to Mexico or some other product being made in China or somewhere else. They've moved someplace else in the world. And a little bit of that, I think, is, we didn't have a lot of things to offer their employees or their management team or whatever. The two largest employers we have in our county are Vincennes University, which is the largest, and then our hospitals. And then the third is our school corporations. So really we don't have a lot of private sector industry there. But really, as I look back, I was busy being Farmer Don, and I started out with 120 rented acres that I rented when I got out of Purdue, and we've built on that since that time in 1972, and that was my highest priority. And then along came these kids, and so we were involved in 4-H and all the athletics and cheerleading and those kind of things, and you get tied up with your family, and that's your highest priority, and you're thinking in the short term. What am I going to do this week? What's the schedule for the kids? Joyce is going to be here, I'll take them there, those kind of things, and then you have to run a business beside. And so you don't think long term that economic development for your community, whether it's in agriculture, agribusiness, or economic development, is a long-term process. And so when you come into your community or drive into the streets, and Martinsville has made a lot of progress here, so I've looked at it through the years, but we have other communities here in the county as well, I know, that are important to the people that live around them. But what does your community look like when someone new comes in? If you look at something as simple as the sidewalks, something as the parks, as a potential employer would be, as what kind of parks and swimming pools and those kind of amenities are there for my employees if I move into the community. What kind of support do we have at the Chamber of Commerce or the Redevelopment Commission or Economic Development Commission, all those kind of things? Well, I didn't take time to invest in any of those things. And lo and behold, those girls or your kids, in my case girls, and your case kids, grow up. Anybody think the kids don't grow up quick? Pretty quick. And so the amount of time you have to build this community that they would want to live in and raise your grandkids in is pretty limited. And so you may have a 20-year window to build your community. Anybody got excess time? Anybody here excess time? We don't have excess time. Our most precious commodity. So I learned in my life, one, I delegate everything I possibly can because most people are way, way better at it than I am. But two, it helps you multiply your efforts to do things. And so it's not always treasure, it's time that's important, but just to do and be involved in one or two community activities is, and to help other people, I believe is what the Lord put us here to do, is to help people. And people are, I'm often asked, what do you do? And I say, well, I'm in the people helping business. That's what I do, and dedicate my life to helping others. And so that's what we're involved with. And now I've got re-engaged with my county and doing things there a little bit later. But the other thing, if you don't have the time, or you want to empower or delegate to these others, they need resources to do that. And so one of the things you can do, and this is a great venue to do it, is your community foundation. And what's great about community foundations in this state is quite often those dollars are matched by some other organization, whether that's Lilly Endowment or other things in the other organizations in the county are willing to do that, or you can put your dollars into many funds. I don't know how many fund pools you have here in your community foundation. We probably have 40 or more in Knox County. We have the Don and Joyce Villwock pool, but we also have many other folks. And so we can dedicate or designate where we want our contribution dollars to go to. We select annually somebody or a group that we think is a good cause. Quite often for us, Joyce and I, because 4-H was a big part of our lives growing up, we designate that the endowment part of our funds go towards Knox County 4-H. But there have been other times we've given it to our local food bank, and there are many great causes going on that you have that ability to do in a community foundation, or give your money to the community foundation as a whole, and then the board of your peers can decide what are good projects that would make and help our county grow. And they're very dedicated folks that serve on the board. The information they know at the time they make the decision is the best decision they can make, and they want to do good to do that. But because most of us here are in agriculture, I want to talk just a little bit as I wind up here about how we donate to our community foundation, because I tear up when I write a check. I mean, I'm pretty tight, and I hate to write those checks. And you know, if it's for fertilizer or seed or chemicals, I just kind of, after 43 crops, I've kind of learned you got to write those checks. And actually, Joyce writes the checks in our house. See that? Those tear stains on the checks didn't go really good. But anyway, for some other things, when you give it, well, it's a little harder to do. And so the way that is seamless and doesn't take much effort at all is to donate grain. And so the way this works, and in Farm Bureau we have a program called Hoppers for the Hungry, and I can relate this program to the community foundations to it, is as farmers in our combines every fall, we used to pull a lever and dump into a truck or into a grain cart or whatever the case may be that we're dumping our grain on the farm and in the field. Now we just press a button and do that. But think of how many times during the fall you press that button. It could be 50 times, 100 times, 500 times. But one time, for the future of your community, you can hit the button, put it in a truck, send the truck to the elevator, and say to the elevator operator, I want you to sell this corn, these soybeans, this wheat, whatever the commodity is. I want you to take this 200 bushel, this 100 bushel, this 50 bushel, whatever you feel is appropriate, and write Morgan County Community Foundation on the settlement sheet. What's good about that is, one, you don't ever have to write the check. Two, you have expensed all the things that go into producing that crop, so you get to expense those off of your taxes. And two, you've made a donation to your community that makes a difference. And we actually, when I first started this project, we actually did it that way. We just put grain in a wagon or a truck and took it to the elevator and sold it that way. Well, voila, we were making a special trip just to do that, and my elevator operator said, you know, if you just bring in 1,000 bushel semi-load, you can just tell me to carve out 50 bushel, 100 bushel, 200 bushel, whatever it is you want to donate, and I'll just split the load for you. So they make it even easier for you to do that. And so it's a really great, painless way that you are able to make a donation. I can guarantee you she will write you a thank you note, just like you wrote the check when the elevator calls her and says, we have a check for you at the elevator, and you can pick it up or do you want us to mail it to you? And so you get credit for being a great community citizen, a servant leader, and using your treasure to help others to multiply your time and talent by giving your treasure to do that. And it is a pretty simple thing to do. Now, Norm, you could maybe donate a cow to do that. It might be a little bit harder to do, but we'll find a way. If you want to donate a cow, I'll help you find a way that eventually gets to the market. But anyway, I think it's so important. It's so important. And my wife, she was the recent chairman of our Knox County Community Foundation. She's been on the board for 10 years, went out as being the chairman and the past chairman. And she said, you know, remind them that farmers have something different than business people have. If you own a widget factory or a small business here, you can literally pick it up and move it someplace else. We can't pick up our farms and move them someplace else. We are tied to this community for life. Hopefully, for a long multi-generation, and if I ask how many farms have been in your families for multi-generation, it's most, because I don't know, I personally don't know a first-generation farmer. It is so difficult to do today that you have to inherit or marry into a farm, basically, and so you're here forever. And so if you're going to live here, why not live in a community you're proud of, one that has amenities that your grandkids could potentially like to live close to you. So today, I drive 3 hours to see my grandkids because they live close to Richmond, Indiana. I have a daughter, heaven forbid, lives in Bloomington. But anyway, we can get there now thanks to I-69. But anyway, for the most part, there were no opportunities for them to come back and work. And so that's why I take rural development so seriously. I think it's really critical. Over 50% of the farmers in Indiana have off-farm jobs. We don't think about that, but the reason a lot of folks get to farm is they go to work someplace else during the day, and then they get to come home and do and deal with their personal passion because they love agriculture, they love farming, and they love being on the farm. And so that's why it's so important to invest. I just think this is the very best vehicle we have as a community foundation to build our communities. And so one, and if you ask these board members, they would like somebody to raise their hand and say, I'll help. getting people to do that or say they're willing to serve on the board is tough. So if you do have the time to do that, I know they would find something for you to do. But if you don't have the time to do that, share your resources, share your treasures, and build a community that you all want to live in. So I wish you well. I wish you a great Morgan County Fair, and I hope it gets a little cooler. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don. I appreciate it. So the Community Foundation, to Don's point, has over 200 funds. That means people just like you had a passion for something and they opened up a fund. Before I hand it back over to Chris to thank our sponsors again, what I would say is that, again, if you don't know me, I graduated Marco High School in 1989. I left for a while, I came back. And I need to say, Brian, I forgot you earlier, sorry about that. You know, when I came back, this is not the community that I grew up in good and bad ways. So a year ago, I mentored a 5th grade student at Smith. And when I look at my life, I mean, my mom had high school, middle school teachers, and I thought that's pretty normal. And then, Frank started, I got into a prison ministry. There's just a lot of people in our communities who just don't get a fair shake. And the Community Foundation isn't about just enabling people. We're trying to help people who want to help themselves. And so we want people to, if you're passionate about the environment or the parks or anything like that, we want you to support that. It's also important, to Don's point, if we can have resources in our community and we can pull those and we can grant those back out to either programs or projects, we really have a chance to help people in our community. We really have a chance for the people who really want to help themselves to give them a leg up and a road out of poverty. So we're grateful for your support, your time, talent, everything like that. So again, the Community Foundation, this is your community. This is about us.